She was the most feared CEO in the building, until one little girl looked at her and said, "Hi, Mom." What happened next changed 3 lives forever. Before we dive into this incredible story, don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss our powerful, life-changing content. CEO asked, "Why does your daughter call me Mom?" Single dad's answer left her speechless. I never planned to raise a child alone. Life made that decision for me, quietly and without asking. When my wife passed away, the house became too big, too silent, and too honest. Every corner echoed with her absence, and every morning asked me how I would survive the day. My daughter, Ariba, was 4 then. She didn't understand death, but she understood loss. She would ask why Mama didn't come back from the sky, and I would hug her so tightly that my own heart hurt. I promised her something that day, that no matter how tired I became, no matter how heavy life felt, she would never feel alone. That promise became my fuel. I worked 2 jobs. I cooked, cleaned, helped with homework, learned to braid hair badly, and stayed awake through fevers and nightmares. Some nights, I cried in the bathroom so she wouldn't hear me. Some mornings, I smiled even when my soul felt exhausted. That's how love works when you're a parent. Years later, I landed a job at a large company. The CEO was a woman known for her sharp mind and even sharper standards. People feared her. I respected her. She noticed effort. She noticed honesty. She noticed people. Late nights at the office became normal for me. When daycare closed early, I had no choice but to bring Ariba with me. She sat quietly in the corner with her coloring book, whispering stories to herself. One evening, the CEO walked in unexpectedly. She stopped, looked at my daughter, then looked at me. Before I could apologize, Ariba smiled brightly and said, "Hi, Mom." The room froze. That was the moment of shock. The CEO looked at me, confused, almost hurt, and asked softly, "Why does your daughter call me Mom?" I swallowed hard. My voice trembled, but I told the truth, because she sees you as someone strong. She sees a woman who leads, who protects, who makes space for others to grow. She lost her mother, but she still believes powerful women can be kind. And kindness feels like home to her. The CEO didn't speak. Her eyes filled with tears she had probably never allowed anyone to see. She knelt down, hugged Ariba, and held her like something precious. Later that week, she called me into her office. I expected discipline. Instead, she offered flexible hours, a promotion, and a quiet thank you. She said, "I built a company, but I forgot how to build warmth. Your daughter reminded me." Years passed. Ariba grew confident and fearless. The CEO became her mentor, then her chosen family. And I learned something important. Strength isn't loud. Love isn't measured by perfection. And family isn't defined by titles. It's defined by who shows up when life is heavy. Moral: the greatest success is not power or position, but the ability to heal others simply by being human. I thought that moment would be the end of it. A beautiful misunderstanding, a kind gesture, a memory we would quietly carry and move on from. But life wasn't done surprising me yet. After that day, the CEO, her name was Ms. Halima, began stopping by my desk more often, not to check my work, to ask about Ariba. Did she eat lunch? Was her fever gone? Did she like drawing or stories more? At first, I answered politely, then honestly, then openly, because something about the way she listened made it impossible to lie. One evening, I found Ariba sitting in Ms. Halima's office, feet dangling from a chair far too big for her. They were laughing, not polite laughter, real, unguarded laughter, the kind that comes from forgotten walls. Ms. Halima looked up at me and said, "She's teaching me how to draw hearts." Ariba corrected her gently. "No, Mom, hearts are easy. Smiles are harder." The word slipped out again. "Mom." This time, no one froze. Ms. Halima smiled, but there was sadness behind it. Later that night, she asked me to stay back. The office lights were dim, the city glowing through the windows like a quiet witness. She didn't look like a CEO then. She looked like a tired woman. "I never had children," she said slowly. I chose success because I thought love was fragile. Her voice cracked. But your daughter, she walks into a room and gives trust like it's sunlight. I didn't know what to say, so I listened. She told me about a childhood where affection was earned, not given, where strength meant silence, where loneliness wore expensive clothes. That night, I realized something painful and beautiful. We were both single parents in different ways. Days turned into months. Ms. Halima adjusted policies so parents could leave early. She started a daycare space inside the company. She smiled more. Ariba started calling her Mom Halima at home too, casually, naturally, like it had always been that way. I worried once. Was this fair? Was I letting my daughter grow attached again? But then I saw how gently Ms. Halima held her hand. Not tightly, just enough to say, I'm here. And I understood love doesn't replace. It expands. And sometimes healing begins the moment we stop guarding our wounds and allow someone else to see them. That understanding stayed with me, quietly reshaping my fears. I began to notice the small things. How Ms. Halima kept a spare sweater in her office because Ariba once said it was too cold for feelings. How she scheduled meetings later in the morning so parents could do school drop-offs without guilt. How she listened, truly listened, when someone spoke as if their words mattered simply because they existed. One afternoon, Ariba came home unusually silent. She pushed her food around her plate and finally whispered, Baba, do you think people can choose each other? I felt my chest tighten. What do you mean, John? She looked up at me with eyes too wise for her age. Like, even if life didn't give them to each other at first. I realized she wasn't just asking a child's question. She was asking for permission to hope. Yes, I said softly. Sometimes the best families are the ones we choose with care. The next day at work, Ms. Halima called me in again. This time, her hands trembled slightly as she poured tea. I've been thinking, she said. I don't want to just help from a distance anymore. I want to be present properly. She paused, searching my face for fear, for resistance. All she found was honesty. I won't cross boundaries, she added quickly. I don't want her to feel borrowed. That word hit me hard. Borrowed. Because that's how my life had felt for years. Borrowed strength, borrowed time, borrowed joy. I took a deep breath. She doesn't, I said. She feels safe. Her eyes filled again, but this time she didn't look away. From then on, Saturdays changed. We began sharing them. Parks, bookstores, quiet lunches where no one talked about targets or deadlines. Ariba would walk between us, holding one hand in each of hers, humming to herself. People stared sometimes. A powerful woman, a tired man, a child glowing like the center of the world. Let them stare. For the first time since my wife's passing, the weight in my chest felt lighter. Not gone, just shared. And I began to wonder if healing wasn't about filling the empty spaces, but about allowing new warmth to sit beside the old pain without fear. The moment that truly changed everything came quietly. No grand announcement, no dramatic confession, just a school event. Ariba stood on a small stage, her paper crown slipping to one side, searching the audience with nervous eyes. She spotted me first, then Ms. Halima. Her face lit up with relief. When her turn came, she spoke into the microphone with innocent confidence. I'm thankful for my Baba, who never gave up even when he was tired. The room grew still. And I'm thankful for my mom Halima, who found me when she didn't even know she was looking. I felt tears slide down my face without shame. Ms. Halima covered her mouth, overcome. In that moment, I understood something deeply human. Love does not erase loss. It honors it by continuing forward. That evening, as we walked home under soft streetlights, Ms. Halima stopped and said gently, I don't want to replace anyone. You don't, I replied. You stand beside what was, and that is enough. Time moved on, as it always does. Our lives grew steadier. Our laughter grew louder. Our silences grew comfortable. Ariba grew up knowing that love is not limited, that strength can be gentle, and that broken beginnings can still lead to beautiful chapters. Moral, Life may break us, but kindness puts us back together in unexpected ways. Family is not defined by blood alone, but by presence, patience, and the courage to care. Thank you for listening to this heartfelt story. If it touched your heart, please share it, leave a comment below, and remind someone today you are never alone.